Yo, guys, finally, we've come to the end of the week, and trust me, we all are so happy to go back to our places, homes, and families to make sure we have an exciting weekend all to ourselves. Just so you know, my name is Victor Adeshri Babajide, in case you forgot that. Welcome to Gospel Life News, where I bring you updates as it concerns Afrobeat and obviously everything that's to do with music across the country. One particular artist I've been getting roasted so far on Twitter for what he made a comment about, and for some persons, they felt like that was irresponsible of him. And to other person, they felt like it was just common English language being misinterpreted for those who don't understand. I'm going to say that to you in not no time from now. Let us see if it is just a misguided conversation or at all he shouldn't have just said it. Moving on, we'll begin our news today with Davido. We saw where Akon came out to say he preferred Davido over Burna Boy in any circumstance, and then he feels Davido is a beast, and obviously he is not getting enough flowers as he deserves or as he ought to have gotten from Nigerian fans on all over the world because Davido, according to Akon, is a very, very big beast. Moving on, we saw Davido through the DAF, talking about the David Adeleke Foundation, gave the sum of about 230 million naira to the less privileged, according to him. He said him and his friends, he reached out to well-meaning Nigerians, and they all came together to reach that particular amount to give to orphanages and the less privileged all over the country. And according to him, he said it is one that he has always wanted to do. And then when the privilege came, he pledged himself to make sure he's going to do it year in, year out. He did it 2021, and then for last year, he could have done it, but because of what happened, he couldn't, which made it doing this, which made him do it this year. And obviously, he has promised that next year we go again. So he's saying for next year he's gonna do it again. Big one to Davido for that one. Obviously, it shows how big Davido art is. And moving on, we saw Davido coming out to say, finally this Friday, the world will see what I saw in Logos Olori. He said Logos is dropping this project, and then he's saying he's so happy because the world will get to see what he saw in this boy when he signed in. We saw Logos coming through with the song Jayelo, and that song is out on all platforms. People already are streaming and people are making their thoughts about it. Somebody is saying Young John handwriting on this beat, and that person is saying vibes. You know, people have their comments on said is having like a young John kind of vibe. For some persons, the sounds, the beat sound like Jerusalem or whatever it is Logos coming through, and obviously it was an amazing song to see at the time. And moving on, we saw Davido heading for Spotify on a particular playlist called We Everywhere. Davido is the number one on that one. Amazing one for him. Obviously doing good for himself. Moving on, we saw Davido on the US radio updater. It has been said that Davido's unavailable will officially impact the US urban radio come July 25th. Big one to Davido on that one. At the same time, we saw for the top song in France, Davido unavailable debut at number 172 on this week's Spotify top song. Big one also to Davido on that one. Recall that he's set to do a tour in France at the Accor Arena, and obviously these guys are prepping themselves to make sure they understand and know what Davido is going to sing to them when it comes to their space. Moving on, we have Brymo as the next guy in the news. We saw where he came out today, straight up to have a conversation, and then according to him, he said there's a part of me that wants to feel remorse for my requirement for a collaboration with the talented Simi, yet I am reminded that I was indeed and honestly seeking to experience the outcome of making music with a female act I was bedding. I proposed same to Efia too then. So this is the gist. Brymo had a space where he came out to talk about how he wanted to have a song with a female artist, and at the time he actually had Simi in mind. And then, according to him, in his words, he said he really didn't want to sleep with Simi, but then he wanted to experience music with her by also sleeping with her. Tautology, but obviously Brymo knows exactly what he was talking about at the time. And obviously he told her, and then she declined, which made him not have a song with Simi at the time. And then he said at the time he said that he did not know Simi was married. Obviously, said he was not aware. And then 2 years after then, he discovered they were married. But at the time he said this to them, to Simi, he did not know anything about she and Adekunle Gold at the time. But then he just told her that, okay, I want to have a song with you, but then I want to make it real, and the only way we can make it real is by having sex and after then coming to the studio and sing a song. That was Brymo's statement. Moving on, we saw where he came out to say, though Adekunle Gold reached out later, I like to think he didn't check in again, by will of fate, because I turned down same request many years before. I also did same with Simi. Said I want to get intimate to create intensity. I did not know they were together, of course. So he said at the time he did not know that Simi and Adekunle Gold were together at the time. Moving on, we saw where for Brymo, he had a space, and obviously Brymo was came out replying almost everyone who was talking or making a comment at what he was saying. This person said, "Are you sure this guy is okay?" Me, I don't think so. Brymo came out to say, "I am okay actually, and because una plenty, no mean say una they make sense." Someone is saying, "You sound like a depressed person that need a psychiatrist ASAP. Please get help as soon as possible." And Brymo came out to say, "Maybe I am. Thanks, I will go check up." And that one is saying, "So our future is now on ends. We what greater free will do we need?" And Brahmo replies saying, "I think I meant that our futures may be decided and that we may better influence our history when free will is put to use to give self to faith that peaceful life may include the embrace of a destined outcome and not often eat the counsel in our recurring patterns." So when he's saying, "Baba don't explain," and then he's saying, thing una standard thing una eight standard things una hate I like to do. My greatest joy na say una no fit explain una actions, and who no fit explain their own deed na crook or na fool, and na me be the guy wey dey bring clarity to hidden truths. Deal with it. So Ramo is saying all of this because he just explained that he really did not mean in the real sense of it that I want to sleep with Simi, but the sense was I wanted to create something magical with a female act. Now, not just a Simi in picture, but then a female act, because he mentioned the fact that he spoke to Simi and at the same time he proposed the same thing to Effie too. So it was more like I wanted a female act on this project, and I want to have something so intimate with them in such a way that we can create chemistry together. Moving on, we saw Adekunle Gold coming out to say, "Please do not disrespect my wife and my family." And then Adekunle Gold said, "If you need help, please get help. But as for calling my wife name, please don't ever disrespect my wife or my family." And it was all back and forth. Not until when Yaba Left came out to take a line from one of Simi's song at the time when she and Pheelz were cool at the time, were so cozy, and a lot of person thought Simi and Pheelz were an item at the time. And then we saw at the time where Simi made an interview where she said she and Pheelz had chemistry, but they never dated. And Yaba Left made that line again. You know, it's funny because it was a conversation between Brymo and Simi, but then Yaba Left wanted to make it thing out of it, bringing fast into the picture, and then Simi blew red hot, and then she is saying, "You all are actually using the F word," and she called them stupid because this is not a time to catch cruise or joke about whatsoever it is that is going on. Brymo just made a statement, and you bringing fast into the conversation just shows that you have ulterior motives in mind. And Simi, according to Simi, she is saying you all are stupid for using bringing this into the conversation. Brymo till date is still explaining himself to make sure that, you know what, guys, I did not mean it this way. He came out having an audio conversation with his fans, an audio conversation with his fans where he explained the fact that he did not know they were married, and obviously he was not going to stay with a married person. He was just making it known that I want to have a song with this person, and then it has to be chemistry. We had to get intimate to create what I wanted to create. But fans are still not understanding Brymo, and Brymo will not stop explaining. So the battle still continues, and obviously in coming days, we'll see where this actually will lead both artists to, inclusive of Brymo, Adekunle Gold, and Simi. Trust us to give you updates as it unfolds from here. Moving on, we have Pheelz as the next guy on the news. We saw where Pheelz came through the song YOLO at the time. Amazing jam from Pheelz, doing good for himself. We saw for the Eddies, Pheelz was nominated for about 5 categories, inclusive of Song of the Year, with the song Finesse, Afrobeat Single of the Year with the song Finesse, Producer of the Year as Pheelz, Best Collaboration with Finesse and Electricity, Viewer's Choice also with Electricity, about 5 categories, and hopefully Pheelz is set to bring one or two or three, if not the 5 of them, back home. And moving on, we saw early in the day where Pheelz, Finesse by Pheelz amassed about 80 million streams on Boomplay, a massive one to Pheelz, and at the same time, Pheelz garnered for himself about 100 million streams so far as an artist, and that's a massive one to Pheelz. Talking about Boomplay and the records that comes with it, a big one to Pheelz. on that one. We saw Pheelz and Odumodu Black again in the studio. For Odumodu, he has been everywhere. Everyone wants to work with Odumodu. Everybody has a single with Odumodu. And this time it is Pheelz' turn to get a large share from the national cake. And this time, him and Odumodu were in the studio vibing and obviously listening to a piano beat. And fans are already imagining what Odumodu will sound on a piano beat. So trust me, they all enjoyed themselves. You could feel the vibe that it was all fun in the studio. We all are waiting to see what the song finally would look like if it eventually comes outside. Moving on, we have Burna Boy as the last guy on the news. We saw where Burna Boy was set to headline the First National Bank Stadium in Johannesburg, in South Africa, on the 23rd day of September 2023, with a capacity of about 94,736. Massive one to Burna Boy on that one. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy historic sold out concert at the London Stadium will be available to stream on Apple Music live on Wednesday, on the 19th day of July at 12 p.m. Big one to Burna Boy. We saw where Apple Music obviously we're saying we're going to put this one out there, so if you missed it, you have a chance to witness every bit of what Burna Boy did at the historic London Stadium with about 60,000 capacity, and then a stretch to about 80,000 capacity. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy and Byron Messiah with the song Taliban 2 released, and obviously that song is already doing massive numbers as we speak. We saw, like I said, Apple had the tour on air, and where people got to stream, obviously, and enjoying themselves with what the sound looks like. And moving on, we saw Burna Boy speaking on an interview where he spoke about how he felt when he was called, whenever he's called a young artist or an emerging artist. For some persons, they want to call that thing the new cat. And then he said he feels happy because it makes his lifespan longer. It makes his longevity longer because obviously when you're a young artist, it shows that you have years ahead of you. And then he is saying he always feel blessed because he feels he's lucky to be in that position, and because it shows that he has like a longer span to use in the industry, even more than he has planned, thought, or imagined. And moving on, we saw Burna Boy Apple Music Live album now charting on Apple Music. Okay, Burna Boy Apple Music Live album is now charting on Apple Music top 200 in about 33 countries, inclusive of Oman, 5 in Oman, 5 in St. Kitts and Nevis, 5 in Barbuda, 5 in Turks and Caicos, 11 in Grenada, 11 in Jamaica, 12 in Suriname, 16 in Qatar, 16 in Sierra Leone, Mali, St. Lucia, Ghana 28, Seychelles 31, Kenya 33, Panama 34, Nigeria 45, Liberia 46, Mozambique 46, Uganda 46, Malta 47, Cameroon 54, Trinidad and Tobago 57, Luxembourg at 60, Belize at 64, Kuwait at 65, the UAE at 68, Cote d'Ivoire at 69, Dominica at 73, Bolivia at 74, Tanzania at 82, Netherlands at 106, Sweden at 133, and then 174 at Australia. Burna Boy is charting currently in these countries. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy's song Taliban with Byron Messiah currently on iTunes charts with number 2 at Luxembourg as a new entry, and then number 80 in the New York at UK rather as a new pick, and 137 Belgium as new entry. Big one to Burna Boy, obviously, on that one. At the same time, Burna Boy biggest single called Last as re-enters the top 100 on the worldwide European Apple Music. For the worldwide category, it's picked at number 100, and then for the European category at number 85. Big one to Burna Boy, obviously, on that one. At the same time, we saw Burna Boy Taliban, obviously, on iTunes charts in Nigeria at number 7, Finland 21, and then South Africa at number 58. Big one to Burna Boy for making Africa proud, and obviously doing himself so much good for putting his name in the street of gold. Anyways, guys, we've come to the end of this one, and trust me when I say this, we'll catch you guys same time next week. But then we have you guys covered in the course of the week. You get updates as it concerns Afrobeat music and the news. Just stay in touch. Make sure you share, like, and comment on this post to make sure you turn on your notification button so that you'll be the first person to see whenever we post a new video. We love you guys so much. Take care of yourself.